Alright, next let's go ahead and make a Bob-Omb. We're going to start with a sphere here and center that sphere, stand on origin. There we go. Then we're going to convert this to a mesh. In our point edit mode, I'm going to go ahead and select all of these faces here and merge them into one. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and extrude that. And with that face still selected, I'm going to go ahead and create an inset. Inset that face to a small circle on top. With that face still selected, I'm going to extrude one more time. There we go. Make a pretty long extrusion. Just gonna go ahead and move that up and adjust that. So let me go ahead and select this ring of edges and create a loop cut. I'm gonna go ahead and bevel that out one time, and then select these two new edges from that bevel and go ahead and bevel those as well, just to make it a bit even. There we go. We can create the feet. The feet are going to be selected these two edges here, and we're going to extrude these together one time. I'm going to go ahead and rotate those faces from the front view, just make it a bit more flatter, and then move that. Then I'm going to go into my side view and scale along the x-axis here just to make it thinner, and also scale on the y just to flatten these faces that I have selected. Now return to my front view and move this down a bit, and then more into the middle. Scale it down again just to adjust, and then from here I'm going to extrude those faces once again, and then scale, and there we go. I'm going to select this ring of edges here, and then move them upwards, and then move this forward a little bit as well. Here I'm going to adjust that edge loop from the front angle, and now we have our leg here for the Bob-Omb. The feet are going to be spheres, so let's go ahead and create another sphere here. Convert to mesh. In our point edit mode, let's switch to the top view. I'm going to go ahead and drag select all of these faces here, and with those selected, I'm going to go ahead and flatten them. Return to the top view, I'll go to edit, flatten, and keep this on normal, and this will flatten all of those faces. And with them still selected, I'm going to go ahead and extrude those together and extrude them outwards one time like that, and just scale them along the x-axis here. I'll switch to my side view, scale this along the y-axis just a little bit, and then also move this down. And I'm going to move the shoe a bit forward here so I get more clear direction of my transformations. So the same process that we used for this part, we're going to select all these bottom edges here, go to edit, flatten, and keep this on normal. This will flatten those edges along with it. And I'll switch to my top view once again and go ahead and select all of these vertices here, and then scale these along the x-axis just to even that out. I'm also going to move this up a bit, and there we have a more rounded shape. We have a nice little shoe, and now let's move this down here and scale this appropriately. Move it again, just playing with the proportions to make sure it looks good. I'll switch to the bottom view now, just so I can place this right there where the leg ends, and let's check that out from the front view. This looks okay. I'm just going to scale this up one more time, and I'll give this a slight rotation along the x-axis, and then move it. There we go. And let's just make another adjustment just to have the foot appear more inside the leg here. And that looks a bit better now. So now we have our shoe. So now we can go ahead and join those two objects together. So we'll select the Bob-Omb body and the shoe we just made. Go to build, join solids, and now those two are one object. We also want that leg and shoe on the other side, so we're just going to form a simple mirror. Go to point edit, and I'm going to select every vertex on this side here. Careful not to be selecting any of them in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete all of those. Now back to our object mode here. I'm going to select this half, build, mirror image, keep this on the x-axis, click OK, and now we have two halves of our model. And with those two halves selected, we can build and join solids, and there we will have both of them together. We still have to deal with this line right here in the middle. So in order to do that, we're going to stitch that together in our point edit mode. Switching to the front view, I'll go into wireframe and select all the vertices down the middle. And now with all of these vertices selected, perform a merge and keep the merge distance at 0.5. This should be good. And that should get rid of that line in the middle, and yes, it does. As you can see, here's the undo before and after. So you can see, going back into our object mode, I'm going to double click on this and change the smooth angle to about 100. That should be good. Back to our point edit mode, and I want to separate this top part here and also this top cylinder part as well. So what we're going to do is select this edge loop and select this small edge loop cap as well. And with both of those selected, we're going to press L, and that will give us a loop cut. And now we have separated these three parts, but more importantly, we've separated the smoothing shading properties. So now they are all separated, as you can see there. From here, let me just adjust the smoothing angle on the bomb to 100. So you'll notice on the top of this model, we have where the fuse of the Bob-Omb is, we have this hole here. We don't want this. This hole was when we cut the model in half and mirrored it. We got rid of this cap on top, so let's put that back the way it should be. I'm going to go here and select add edge, and in our vertex mode, with the X and Y axis selected, I'll click this point and connect it to the point in the back right here. And there we go, that'll create a nice edge from front to back. And from here we can go ahead and select all of these edges on top and hit Shift J to fill in those holes. Now we have that filled in our face selection mode. We can just merge those faces together and we have our cap again. Alright, so the next thing is, let's go ahead and select these two edges here on both sides of the model and bevel those two edges out. This is going to be our eyes. Alright, now let me just go ahead and center this object once again. Go to the side view, build, primitives, and gone. A number 10 for the number of sides, so give us a nice rounded shape, and click and drag that. So now we're going to extrude this shape. Go to build, extrude. We're going to extrude along the x-axis this time. Length I'll put at about 15, segments 1, cap start and end is checked. So okay, and now we have our shape here. Go to the top view. I'm going to go ahead and center this object. And let me just move this to where we can see it. Back in our side view, I want to select all of these edges here and merge them into one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. And now they're both merged. We have two faces, one in the back and one in the front. And with both of those selected, I'm going to go ahead and create an inset. About right there is good. And then bridge these faces. Alright, with that done, we're going to go ahead and let's just copy and paste and move the pasted one down a little bit. And let me go ahead and move these up again. We're going to flatten the edges. So select these three faces here on the bottom and go to edit, flatten, and just click OK there. That will flatten those out. With those three faces selected still, I'm going to go ahead and merge them into one face. And we're going to do the same thing for this top ring here that we have. So selecting these three faces, go to edit, flatten, and click OK. And we're going to merge those faces as well. And now with this face selected, we're going to select the one right here as well. Bridge these faces together. There we go. And now these two are combined into one piece. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these vertices and move this a bit closer together. So I'll move that down. And that looks about right, I would say. And let me go ahead and scale this. Make this a bit smaller. That's okay. And we still need one more piece for this. Point edit mode. I want to select this face here and scale this up, but only along the y-axis, just to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to perform one extrusion outwards like that. And with that, we can just push this into the back of our Bob-Omb, and I'll move that up a bit. And now we have the wind-up piece for our Bob-Omb. It's complete. So there's only one more thing we have to do here, and that is this top views. So let me go ahead and create a modifier here. Zoom in and create this modifier so that it's completely covering that top part. And for this, we're going to choose bend. So a bend modifier, and go ahead and center that and move it upwards. There we go. Now I'm going to select the modifier and the views together, build modifiers, bind modifier. I'm going to click on the modifier and add an angle of about 100 should be good. But I want this to be bended from the back, so I'll select that modifier, switch to my side view here, which is the right, switching to the right view, and I'm going to go ahead and rotate along the x-axis 90 degrees towards the back, just like that. And we'll just pick build modifier, effect modifier to finalize that transformation. And now our fuse is bended back, and now our Bob-Omb is complete. And now to just add the materials here. So the base color is going to be the entire sphere of the Bob-Omb right there. Our material is going to be a very dark color. And there we go. Let me also create a material for the legs. And I'll apply this material to the legs. Okay, there we go. And for the shoes, I'll create a slightly darker color. There we have it, more darker. The wind-up piece, I want to apply the same color as the shoes. And this top piece here, we can go ahead and make that a gray color. And this fuse I want to be just plain white is fine. There we go. Those edges that we beveled out earlier, I'm going to select those in point edit mode, and this will be the eyes of our Bob-Omb. I'll apply that same white material that the fuse has, and there we have our Bob-Omb object finished. A last thing that you can do is make this a bit more nicer. We can go ahead and smooth this object. So with the body selected, build, smooth object, and keep that tension at 0, that should be fine. Click OK. And there we go, we have a more rounded, smooth Bob-Omb.